Hey everybody, it is Friday. It is day 69, and this is our 38th video in this little series, Thriving Exile, that we hope to bring to an end here soon. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a fantastic week. Things are starting to get back to normal all around, and I'm grateful for that. We've posted our regathering plan on our website, on Facebook, Instagram, etc. I've done a couple videos about it. I'll make another comment about that in just a minute. But let me cover three topics today. One, tomorrow, by God's providence, I have the opportunity, and we have the opportunity as a church collectively to continue in missions. We're going to do a mission project tomorrow through a church member and through God's providence. I'll be preaching live starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning through YouTube Live in India, in a little town or an area called Pune, through a brother that we met through one of our church members, and we'll be doing sort of a Zoom live sermon there. I'll be preaching from the book of Amos. They've asked me to preach from. They've actually had a couple of weeks long of special meetings that have all geared around this topic. So pray for me, and I'm grateful for the opportunity for us to continue doing missions in this way. Kind of thought missions were shut down for the year, but I'm excited about it. I'll put the link out to our church, to our guys that do the social media. They can put it on social media, and everyone can log on to YouTube Live and watch if you'd like. But I'm really, really excited about that. But I'll be preaching from Amos chapter 4 and verse 12, and a very familiar text where God has really come to the end of all of his warnings to the northern tribes in Israel, the place that was called Israel, with the capital of Samaria. And before the Assyrians were going to come and bring them into captivity and really destroy them, essentially, God had brought all of these means, including, by the way, plagues. He actually had brought plagues upon them and said, the scriptures say, after the manner of Egypt, in order to bring them to a place of repentance. Because while they were prosperous as a nation, poverty had set in, spiritually speaking, and there was idolatry, there was sinfulness, wickedness, all of these things. And so God was about to bring about real judgment through the Assyrians. So pray for me as I am finishing up that message and prepare to preach it tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. So I wanted to share that with you. Secondly, I wanted to point out that we are celebrating right now something significant, and this is why I don't have much more of a Bible study today. We are celebrating Pastor Steve's retirement. In fact, in the service video, he doesn't know. It's a secret. We've got a special element from him. The school has done a couple of wonderful things to honor him through video and through a big car line parade drop-off yesterday. And we're going to do something as well with the church. We have some wonderful gifts for him. But if you get an opportunity, send him a letter or a message or an email, and just let him know what kind of inspiration he was to you. Pastor Steve is one of a kind. I've been in ministry for a long time. Very few men that love Christ and that have the type of testimony he does. And one of the things, aside from being absolutely committed to prayer and being a wonderful model of prayer, of being consistent in prayer, Steve is always a wonderful example of Bible memorization. He took on, in his later years, this discipline of Bible memorization. Even though he had a very busy schedule, a very complex job, he was consistently and regularly memorizing Scripture and was such an encouragement and a model to me and to the rest of the staff. And so he put together a special gift that really sort of connects with what he did in that realm. So if you have a chance, send him a message, send him a note, let him know how much you love him, and that you'll be praying for him. They're going to be stepping into sort of a new phase of ministry following his retirement here from WCA and FBW. Still, they're really seeking the Lord still on that, because with the COVID and all these things, there's been some changes. They're going to go on a trip, and then afterwards they'll be settling in, and we're going to be sponsoring them and really sending them out in what it is the Lord leads them to do, probably in the realm of missions. So be in prayer for them. Reach out to them if you get a chance. Amy's on here. I think Steph is on here. They both know him very well, having served on staff with him, and they've seen his character, his integrity. He really exemplifies 1 Corinthians 11:1, where the Apostle Paul says, imitate me as I imitate Jesus Christ. The Apostle Paul wasn't a prideful man. He wasn't boasting. He wasn't drawing attention to himself. He was really calling people to follow the example of Christ. And in order to encourage others to do that, he worked hard to set that example. When I think of Pastor Steve, that's exactly what I think of. And you do too if you know him well. So again, pray for him and try to reach out to him and share your love with him. And the last thing I wanted to talk about today. So first of all, the India missions event tomorrow morning. I'll send out a link, and hopefully you'll be able to find that. and log on to that. Secondly, or you can watch it later too. It's on YouTube, so it'll be up for a long time. Secondly, I want to talk about Steve's retirement, and I want you to be praying for him and encouraging him. And then thirdly, I want to talk about a regathering plan. I've talked about it really all week, and I want to address it again. Pastor Joe put out you've got to read all the way to the bottom of that email, because there's a green box and it takes you to the online survey. That survey is going to be huge to help us prepare for our first public open service here on June 7th in 2 weeks. We need as much information as we can. And what the survey question essentially asks is very simple, but we wanted to have a very simple answer, because it's difficult if we get 100 emails wading through all kinds of different contingencies and explanations. It's just simpler for us to get sort of a yes or no on this. But what the email essentially says is, are you and your family planning to join back with us in a live public service in a limited fashion? It's worship only. We understand that creates some complications for lots of folks, and that's perfectly fine. And we understand there are folks that are in more of a high-risk category or that have a greater concern for the virus. That's perfectly great. We just want to sort of get an idea of how we can prepare the campus for the folks who will come. During that service on June 7th, we'll be wearing masks. We'll have hand sanitizer out everywhere, the soap, and everything will be cordoned off that needs to be avoided. There'll be clear signage all over the campus for the areas that will be open for viewing, both here, I'm in the worship center right now, as well as in some other large spaces on campus, and even some classrooms will be open. We'll have some workers and some staff that'll be helping to sort of ensure everyone maintains that social distancing the best that we can. The chairs will all be situated that way. There will be some rows, and so if you come in and you sit down, you'll need to put 6 feet in between you and the next household of people. And that's going to work out to probably 3 or 4 chairs. I'm not sure exactly what that is in between you. There'll be space adequate behind you and in front of you to ensure you've got that distancing. We'll discourage things like sort of what we always do, hanging out on the patios and hugging people and kissing and high-fiving and handshaking and all that stuff. We're going to be discouraging that, but we're going to be encouraging regathering. If you didn't get a chance to see the last 2 videos, I talked about biblically why we gather and why the internet doesn't cut it, why we don't have online church, why we haven't leaned into this as an online campus. We are a people who gather, unless we're providentially hindered, which we were, but as that's coming, we're moving forward. So listen, if you've got some concern, you've got some anxiety, I want to relieve that now. We are going to follow all the recommendations that have been given to us by our city. We've already been in communication with the mayor's office. City manager and I have been talking. They know our plan completely. We're going by the advice given by CDC and by the county. And what's interesting is the county has not yet written the rules for phase 2 and 3. So some of this is sort of nebulous and up in the air. We're keeping a close eye. We don't want to put anyone in danger. We don't want you to feel that you're in danger. And we're going to work hard to demonstrate love and grace and compassion to everyone. So you can do us a huge favor. Please go on that email right now. Text everyone you know in the church. Tell everyone you know, please, you will be a huge help to the staff here. Get that email, go on there, take the survey right now, fill it out as completely as you can. That'll be a huge help to us as we prepare this campus to regather and begin to move forward on the other side. But pray, I'm working on a message for June 7th, and I'm really going to go back to something I said in the beginning. I pray that we will have really learned and grown through this time, and that as the all clear, as it were, is sounded, we don't all just rush back to old ways. I pray that through this period, the Lord would have helped us and to a degree cleansed us and stripped away those things that have kept us from really serving him in the way that God has designed. And hopefully we've grown closer with our families and with other people, and we can take advantage of that in the future. So take the survey, send it to everyone you know. That's going to be a huge help to us. I love you guys. That's it for this week. We'll see you next week. God bless you.